Okay, hello. Welcome to topic 4, Civil War and Reconstruction. So, Reconstruction is a great example of how the government does things. Not always, but sometimes. So, it had great goals, great ideas, and it failed massively. We see then in the 1940s, we start to realize some of the promises of Reconstruction. So in 1945, the Supreme Court decides Shelley versus Kramer that ends a discrimination in home ownership, land ownership. Then in the 1950s, we have the Brown versus Board of Education decision that ends segregation and public accommodation. Let me back up. So we have Reconstruction, that's right after the Civil War. It falls apart largely due to the economy and other factors, but really always. James Carville is a Democratic political strategist, and during Bill Clinton's campaign for president, he was asked, what's going to make Clinton successful? Why are people so drawn to him? I don't remember the exact question, but that was the gist. And he said, "It's the economy, stupid." And so really money talks, and it drives so much. So Reconstruction falls apart. The goals of Reconstruction were not realized. Shortly after it falls apart, we have the Plessy versus Ferguson decision in the Supreme Court in the 1890s, and that codifies segregation in public accommodations. Homer Plessy was a mixed race gentleman, and he sat in the whites only section of a Louisiana rail car. He was arrested for that, and then the Supreme Court has the Plessy versus Ferguson case and decision that codifies the separate but equal doctrine. And as we know, separate is not equal, and there was one heroic dissenting justice on that Plessy court, Justice Harlan, John Marshall Harlan. His name is interesting because in the early 1800s, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, who really defines judicial review and the role of the Supreme Court as a force to be reckoned with, as a genuine third branch of our government, is Chief Justice John Marshall. So then in the late 1800s, the 1890s, we have John Marshall Harlan. He's called the Great Dissenter. I have a book about him, and that's what it's titled. But he dissents in the Plessy versus Ferguson case, and he says separate is not equal, that this creates a caste system, and that our Constitution is colorblind. He had it right. Well, then we fast forward to the 1950s. My dogs are barking. The Brown versus Board of Education decision, and that reverses the Plessy decision. So now segregation is no longer allowed in public accommodations. However, we had difficulty getting that enforced. And so then in 1964, we see the Civil Rights Act. We finally have some teeth to the Brown versus Board of Education decision. And really, we start to see these goals of Reconstruction realized in the 1960s. We have the Civil Rights Act, 1964, the Voting Rights Act, 1965, the Fair Housing Act, 1968. We start to get some legislation, some federal enforcement and oversight and discrimination. Finally, the goals of Reconstruction finally come about. Okay. This week, your assignment is a Civil War and Reconstruction character study. So pick one person from the list. They have to be from the list. Make sure you meet your word count, your source requirements. Make sure you're doing the reading. That's really going to help inform your assignments. And then remember participation all week long. Oh, also, okay, GCU adopted some grading software, and so it does not pertain to discussions or participation, but topics 1 and 2, if you received a grade that you feel like is in error, please reach out to me and I'll get it fixed. And I'm not going to use that new stuff anymore. I'm going back to me. So I've been doing the discussions and the participation, but there was this new program to help with the assignments, and it just made several errors. So you're back to me. All right, so reach out though if you had an erroneous grade for topic 1 or topic 2 assignments. please reach out to me. I'll get it fixed. All right. Have a great week.